All right, it is 2 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started so that we can um, be mindful of everybody's time today. If you'll notice our Google Meet norms, which I understand this is a Zoom, but your microphone should be muted. Please go ahead and type any questions that you have in the chat. I am seeing it up on another screen. And so I will be able to go in and answer those questions at the end. We'll do a Q&A. And then the last thing is just when you are asking a question, if you can introduce yourself so that we know who is talking and then ask your question. If I've not gone through and answered it, going through the chat questions, then you are welcome to unmute yourself at the end and ask your question out loud. So my name is Emma McDonald. I am with Mesquite Library Services, and we are discussing today our Mesquite Reads Summer Reading. We're going to take a look in depth at the ReadSquared program. We're going to start today by looking at the ReadSquared library reading program that students and staff will use to log their minutes. And then at the end, the latter half of the time that we have together, I'm going to take a look at the dashboard. So all campus teachers have the ability to go in and see their students in the dashboard. And then when our students are swapped over to a new class, a new teacher in the fall, you will see your current students. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that at the latter half. So for those of you who are really just using the ReadSquared to log your minutes and you don't have a class of students that you are observing or looking at in the dashboard, you're welcome to hop off at that point. And but just know I am going to wait and answer questions all the way at the very end, just because it's a lot easier. It's hard. I'm doing this one by myself. So it's a little bit more difficult for me to keep track of the questions that are happening in the chat and do the session at the same time. So we're going to start by looking at our summer reading page. If you want to follow along, you can just watch. But if you would like to follow along with me, I highly recommend that you use a split screen. And you can do that a couple different ways. There is an extension in the Chrome browser called Tab Resize that will automatically resize your tabs so that you can see my presentation in one tab and you can see your you can log into your Mesquite and into your ReadSquared on the other tab. To manually do this, you would simply click and drag one of your windows outside, and then you can resize that window to make it the size that works for you. And then your other screen or window, you would then resize it as well. So that's kind of the manual way of doing that. But if you have the app, the extension for Chrome, it's called Tab Resize. It will automatically split your tabs based on the current tab that you're in. So I'm going to pop this one back. Oh, actually, I'm putting it in the wrong one. Let's see. There we go. I'm put it back in here and make my screen big again. So we're going to start off at this, at our summer reading page, which you find going to bit.do/Mesquite Reads. You can also use tinyurl/Mesquite Reads. That works also. And let's see, I must have closed that down. So here we go. All right, on our main summer reading page, you will see our dates. This is where you can show your students the opening video that we have that introduces the Mesquite Reads to all of the district. And I am going to go ahead, it's about 3 minutes long. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start by taking a look at that.
Mesquite ISD is proud to present Mesquite Reads. Imagine Your Story, a summer reading challenge offered in partnership with the Mesquite Public Library and Balch Springs Public Library. Once upon a time, in a land of rodeos, barbecues, and tacos, stories abound, and a challenge is issued.
This is Dr. David Vernlin, your superintendent of schools, and I'm excited today to bring a challenge to you from the Mesquite Independent School District and the Mesquite Public Libraries.
We challenge all students, teachers, parents, and community members to unleash your imagination by reading for just 30 minutes every day this summer.
And it doesn't matter what you read. It can be books, it can be magazines, blogs. It doesn't matter. The choice is yours. I'm excited to engage in this challenge with you as I will be reading 30 minutes every day, and I hope to see you doing the same.
Everyone is invited to this grand story fest. All Mesquite students, teachers, administrators, and anyone with a Mesquite ISD network account is already registered to play. Community members can play through the Mesquite Public Library, so parents and guardians can enjoy the game too. To earn points and advance on the game board, simply record the number of minutes you spend reading, complete missions, and play games over the summer. These things combined will determine your score in the game. As you read and complete missions, you'll earn new badges along the way, and the more points you get, the higher your rank on the leaderboard. The game board is powered by an app called ReadSquared. You can access ReadSquared in the Mesquite ISD portal or download the app on your phone or iPad. All you have to do to get started is go to the ReadSquared app and log in. Every campus has its own competition, so you can play against your friends and the teachers at your school. Of course, this challenge is for all MISD students and their teachers. If you can't read, someone can read to you and help you record your minutes. Things are different this year, that's for sure, but there are still some options for finding books and other things to read over the summer. Every elementary school has a little free library outside its front door. These books are available for anyone to take and keep if they want, or it can be returned. Some school libraries may have the option to request books for pickup before distance learning is over for the summer. Check with your campus librarian to see if this is an option for you. Another option is the MISD Digital Library. If you can't get to the school library, you can check out books there to read on a personal device like a phone or on your computer. MISD Library Services also has other ebook resources like Temple Books and online magazines like National Geographic Kids. You can find lots to read in the MISD portal in the library folders. So put down your tacos and brisket, saddle up with a good book, and let your imagination run wild this summer. There's no telling what can happen when you imagine your story during the Mesquite Reads Summer Reading Challenge.
All right. So that is our intro video that you can show to students and to staff. On the right-hand side, you'll see we have two links. One is to access ReadSquared in the portal. The other is to access just the main ReadSquared login page for staff. We are trying to resolve an issue that we've been having with staff logging into the ReadSquared app through the portal. Hopefully by Monday, we will have that resolved, but in case we don't, all staff can come to this page and click on the ReadSquared icon, the link here to be able to log in, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a couple of minutes. You'll see kind of our very basic instructions on how the program is going to work. Sign in to ReadSquared, log the minutes, you earn new badges, you move along the game board. There are fun reading challenges and a bingo board. We have interactive pages, and then we have our digital leaderboard. Below that, you will see an overview. It's kind of like this training. It was done for students, and so you can also show that to them, and also give this information to parents so that they can support their children over the summer in logging their minutes. And then for anyone who's interested, we do have a little bit of information about ReadSquared. This is an app that we are using as our platform for our summer reading this summer. On the right-hand side, I wanted to point out that here is a link to our leaderboard, which we'll look at in more details a little bit later. We also have this page in Spanish. We are waiting on our Spanish intro video. So that's not ready yet, but it is coming. And that Spanish video will be on the Spanish page. And everything is in Spanish on that page. The next is we have this information that you might want to share with parents on why summer reading is important. And so this page actually includes some infographics that you can download and print off and share with parents to understand why their students, why we want everybody reading throughout the summer. And you'll see other articles and ideas on how parents can encourage summer reading and why children should continue reading over the summer. So these are all excellent articles that are great to share with your parents. Below that, you will see links to ebooks and audiobooks, great reads. This is a great place to go find recommended reading. We have all of the different Texas Library Association reading lists, 2x2, Bluebonnet, Lone Star, and so on for each grade level and for adults. This A Book and a Hug is something that you can go to find out other books that are similar to ones that you enjoy reading. And we have that feature in ReadSquared as well. So there's some good ideas on things to read in on that page. And then we have links to the public libraries. We also have a books to minutes conversion chart on this page. And this is really helpful for those families who read picture books or who they're not necessarily good about recording all of their minutes each day, but they know I just got through reading a book. And so here is a good conversion chart you can use to convert how many minutes should I enter for my books. And so an average read for a picture book is about 15 minutes. So if a family reads a picture book together, 15 minutes is what they should record. Beginning reader chapter book is about 90 minutes. Intermediate, 180 minutes. So you can see the different minutes for the different types of books that are read, which is a really useful tool. Underneath there, you'll see a frequently asked questions link to our frequently asked questions page. We have a link to the parent letter, which you can share with parents. And if there are any questions or issues that you are having, you can click on report an issue and it will fill out a Google form and we will answer those and add them to our frequently asked questions page. So let's get digging into the actual ReadSquared app. There are two different ways you can access it. The first is by going to the portal. I'm sorry, my little Zoom thing is at the top and so it's messing up my tabs here. So in the portal, you will notice as staff, you will have two different icons. One is for the library reading program. That's where you go to log your minutes. This is the only link that students see in their portal. So when they click on this ReadSquared for the library reading program, it will automatically push them, load them into their program for their age group. And so we have 5 different programs. We have one for pre-K to 2nd grade, one for grades 3 through 5, one for grades 6 through 8, high school, and then adults for all district staff. Next to that, you'll see the ReadSquared dashboard, which we will look at the last part of our session today. For staff, again, right now we're having some issues with this, but when it works, I want to show you kind of how it will work. You will click on the ReadSquared in the portal, and then you choose log your own reading. When we have it fixed, you should be able to click on log your own reading and it should pop you right in to the ReadSquared program. In the meantime, I'm going to log out to make sure that this works for me. In the meantime, go to the summer reading page, or you can go to I'll put it in the chat. It's mesquitereads.readsquared.com. And let's see, I'll click on it and you'll see it right here in the browser bar, mesquitereads.readsquared.com. And you want to look on the right-hand side, you'll see the login. Now, our spring reading is still going on for students through Friday. And so that's what you're seeing right now is the information for the spring reading, but that will be replaced with summer reading on the 17th. So as a teacher, you're going to enter your ReadSquared account information here on this login box. Do not use, for now, the login with ClassLink because we are having some issues with that. And again, hopefully on Monday, we will have that fixed. Your username is your full email address. Okay, so your full email address is your username. Unless you're a librarian, and librarians, we've already had this conversation. So if you have questions or trouble, let me know in later and I'll help you with that. But all other staff for the entire school district, every adult staff member, if you have an email address, you have access to log your minutes in this program. The password for all staff is MISD1234. You can then, and I'll say it one more time, it's MISD1234. Okay, and I will, let's see, let me find the chat, and I'm going to just very quickly pop those two things into the chat. It's, oh, thank you, Paula. Paula just put in the Mesquite Reads, and then the password for staff is MISD1234. And then you can change, and in fact, I highly recommend that once you log in, you change that password. So let me go back and get myself back into the program so that you can see how to do that. So once you have logged yourself into the program, at the top right of the page, this is not for students. You do not want to show this to students. You don't want them to do this. This is just for staff. At the top right of the page, click Account and then click Change Password. From there, you type in the MISD1234 and then you type in your new password. I highly recommend that you use your network password. It's just going to make things a lot easier for you over the summer. Now, one thing to note is that this ReadSquared program is also an app. So you can download it from the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. You can download it from Google Play for any other Android device that you may have. And then you'll log in just the way you won't log in through the portal. Instead, you will use this login page. It'll show this these login boxes on the app. You'll use your information and then it will log you in. Okay. Now, on your main page, you have the very first thing you'll see is an avatar. And for those of you who haven't logged in, this will be blank. And so to edit your avatar, click on the pencil. And here you can choose different accessories that you want for your avatar. So there are lots of different accessories. You can change your outfit and you can change the look of the face for the avatar as well. Okay, and then click Save Changes. So all students get to choose their own avatar also, whatever they want for themselves. In the main dashboard here, all of these buttons also have links on the side. And so it's just personal preference as to how you like to access these different features in ReadSquared. Before I start going through those buttons, I want to show you the dashboard section. It automatically pulls up badges, and you'll see with this account, so far I've earned 5 or 6 badges. Next to that is this little arrow, and this shows you your progress of reading. So you can go in and see every day that you have logged minutes. It'll show you how many minutes you logged and your total points. Okay, so notice there's a difference between the total and the reading. The red reading is how many minutes you've logged. Your total points might be a little different from that because you can earn points for missions that you complete as well. So that's your progress. And I'll say that in the app, it's a lot better if you go ahead and have just this progress showing, because then you don't have to scroll down as far to see the other elements on your homepage. We have a lot of badges. We have badges going up to 57,000 minutes. So I wanted to make sure that our most avid readers who are reading 6 hours a day, every single day during the summer, would be able to earn badges. We know that that's probably not going to happen, but I wanted that to be a possibility that they could earn badges. So we have lots and lots of badges. That's a lot of scrolling you see that has to happen. So I recommend you just keep it on that progress bar. You can also click on the little mini game icon and it will show you the mini games that have opened up. And the way this works is 2 games are immediately open for everyone. All of the games have been specifically selected for that grade level. So like pre-K to 2nd grade, their games are things like color sorts and early readers, online stories that are read aloud to them, and things like that. I think we have a number sort, a color sort, an alphabet or a letter sort, matching words with pictures, things like that will be for pre-K to 2nd. 3rd grade and up will have, again, games that are appropriate for them. Like this Follow Me is like a Simon Says kind of game. This waffle game here is like a Words with Friends kind of game. And so the more I read, as I accrue more reading minutes, more games will begin to pop up for me to be able to play. And then the last icon here is for the game board. And the game board works similarly. As I read, when I reach certain milestones, my little icon will move up to the next board and it will check off the next board space. And so as I read, I should be able to watch my progress on the game board until I get to the very end. When I get to the end of the game board, then I will get a certificate. Okay, so however, that's the bare minimum of minutes. So the way we've set it is for the little ones, elementary school students, the goal is 2,000 minutes over the course of the summer. That's a little less than 20 minutes a day. So it's about 17 or 18 minutes a day is what that ends up being. And then the middle school and high school, theirs is 3,000 minutes, which ends up being a little less than 30 minutes a day. And for adults, we have it set to 4,000, which is, it sounds like a lot, but it's actually just a little bit more. It's like maybe 37, 38 minutes a day of reading will get you to the end and get a certificate. Now, students and staff, you can continue reading all summer long, all the way until the 28th, even after you've hit the end of the game board. We set those minimum of minutes so that people could feel a sense of accomplishment. We know that we have striving readers and that not everyone is an avid reader who's reading 2 to 3 hours a day or an hour a day during the summer. And so we want people to feel like, yes, I can accomplish this reading program. For our avid readers, they can keep on reading, keep reading. We have badges, like I said, up to 57,000 minutes, which I don't think anybody could rightfully actually read through the summer, but they're able to earn those badges. So we've got, they don't have to stop just because they've reached the end of their game board. All right, on the right-hand side, you'll see our leaderboard. This is the overall leaderboard. If I click on the, I think if I click on the purple, then I'll see just for my campus, which is district staff, we're under MISD. Everybody else is going to show under their campus. And so you can see this is just a basic leaderboard. We have a great big district leaderboard that'll be open for parents and community members to look at as well. You have your score. Underneath that, you have all the different book resources that we have online that you can read. Every one of these links takes students immediately into that resource. They do not have to log in again. Once they click on this button or the link at the top, it will take them directly into Tumblebooks or National Kids Geographic or EBSCO. On the left-hand side, we do have a link to our library catalog. So if any of the libraries are offering summer checkouts, students and staff can put a book on hold to be able to get that, but you'll need to check with your campus librarian to find out if they are opening that service during the summer. Underneath your avatar, you have a wish list. And so you can click on the plus sign and add in maybe a book that you are interested in reading. And one of the nice things about ReadSquared is as I begin to type, it will start searching for what it thinks I want to enter. Even in Dreamers, if I had just started entering it and don't have it finished, I can then pick from the selection of books that show in that list. Click Add to Wish List. It will give me a confirmation. And now I have the book Dreamers by Eugene Morales in my wish list. If I click Find It at the library, it will actually take me back to the, it actually takes us into Sora, where I can go and search and find that book in the digital library. So that's a nice feature as well. All right, so now I'm going to go through these links on the left, and there's just a few I'm going to go into detail, and then we're going to take a look at the leaderboard. So logging minutes, that's the most important thing that we want to make sure we and our students know how to do. So when I click on logging minutes, here is my dashboard. I click log reading, and it opens up the panel for logging my reading. Here I want to enter how many minutes I read. The next option is the book ISBN. It's not mandatory, but if you're on a mobile device and you have your book in hand, you can click scan the ISBN code and just scan that barcode that's right at the bottom of the book, you know, that you use to buy it at the bookstore, and it will automatically fill the title and the author for you so that you don't have to do that. The other thing that you can do is you can just, again, start typing in the name of the book. So here is the book spelled by Betsy Shao. So I can type in spelled, and then I start typing in Betsy, and there she is, Betsy Shao. And I can just hit submit at that point. Now again, for students, the title and the author are not required. They do not have to enter that. They can just type 30 and hit submit, and that's enough. But I'm going to show you the cool thing that happens if you do enter the title and the author for that book. We have made it required for adults to at least enter the title of the book that you've read. You don't have to enter in the author, but at least the title. Now, if this is a chapter, a picture book, it's really short and you read it in one sitting, you can click I finished the book. And this will make sure that you have a clean log activity panel the next time you log your minutes. If you're reading a chapter book, you do not click I finished the book until you're done with it, and it will automatically put your title and your author into the logging panel every time. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to submit my 30 minutes. I'm going to get a confirmation. So I've now logged that reading. So when I click log reading again, look, my title and my author are already there. I don't have to keep retyping that. So I can enter another 30 minutes if, let's say, after lunch, I read again. And then let's say this time I finish the book and I click I finished. I can also add a book review. This was an amazing book. I loved it. As teachers, if you want your students to write reviews for the books that they read, you are welcome to encourage them to do that. We do not require a book review. This is supposed to be a fun thing that we are doing. And so sometimes students, when they're required to enter in a review, they look at it as school or as work that they have to do. But as a teacher, as their classroom teacher, if you want to encourage them to do that, then that would be fantastic. Now, all book reviews are moderated. You as the classroom teacher can go in and moderate their book reviews. That means you have to approve it before it will show up. And then I also can go in and moderate those, the book reviews so that they show up for others to look at. And I'm just going to do a really quick one. This is a fantastic book. And then I'm going to click submit and close. So now if I click on my history, it's going to take me to my logging history and show me all of the books that I have recorded. And this is why it's really neat to go ahead and put in at least your title, or the title and the author would be even better, because then I can click on, I really loved spelled. What else? I can click discover more like this. And we have a feature, an integration with Novelist for the whole summer that will tell me a little bit about the book. It shows me the appeal. What was it that is normally appealing about this book? And then if it's part of a series, it will show me those books in the series. When I click go to catalog, it's going to take me to our digital library so that I can go find that book in the digital library. It will show me similar series that I might also enjoy and similar books that I might also enjoy. And I can then add these to my wish list. Oh yeah, this is one I'd really like to read, but I wouldn't remember unless I put it in my wish list. So that's a really nice feature. When the students do not put in a title or an author, the Discover More Like This will not show up because it doesn't know what to recommend since the title was not put into the logging, the log. So that's logging your book. You can also, from the logging history, you'll see it's over here on the left-hand side. You can see it that way as well. And so reviews, any of the reviews that I've logged will show here. And then notice I can see my review because this is my account, but no one else. So you see it says it's not moderated, it's not publicly displayed, so nobody else can see it. All right. Once it's moderated, these two messages will change. Okay, so that's logging books. I'm seeing a question on if you're reading two different books, how would you log that? So I think it would just be, I would just check I finished the book each time I log so that it's clear the next time that you log a book. And then again, if you're reading a book and then you're reading a book with your children, log it on your children's account and then log your, and you can log it on your account as well, but you want to make sure that everybody gets credit for that. All right, that was a great question. What if people read more than one book at a time? So Kathy, that's the same sort of thing. You just always click I finished the book, and you can just keep checking that as you are reading your books, and it'll just give you a cleared logging screen. That's really the only purpose of that I finished the book, is to clear out that screen so that you have you can log your next book. All right, let's look at missions next. So we have different missions that are set up for every group. Some of those missions are for the kids. The opening missions that they have are things like writing their own story or telling a story to a family member. But then starting on June 1st, missions will open up for the public library. And so it will suggest go to a story time or go to a teen day. We know that the public library is not open. However, both public libraries have reassured us that everything they're offering for the summer will be done virtually. So they will have all of these events as virtual events. And what we will do is the librarians for the public library will give out a secret code. And one of the activities, when I go to a mission, I click on the mission that I want to complete. When I go to that mission, there are different activities for it. And so you just complete those activities. And for the public library missions, one of those activities is to enter the secret code. And they will give the secret code for that activity, and you just enter it, and then it will complete your mission when those have been all completed. Now, most of these missions are on your honor. And so you're the one that fills it out and enters it. And then the same is for the bingo, and we'll talk about kind of that in just a second. But the missions, when you're done with a mission and you complete it, it shows you this is the badge. You'll earn a badge for it, and you'll earn 25 points. So remember, I was saying that your reading and your total points might be a little bit different. That's because for each mission that you complete, you earn additional points. And those points move you along that game board as well. All right. I'm not going to go into this in detail, but everyone has this mail link, and these are just messages telling you you have a new badge. That's really all that is. The games shows you those mini games that we already talked about, and you see the bingo board. The bingo board is changed up just a little, not a whole lot for each age group, but it's things like read a fantasy book, read under the covers, read under an umbrella, read with a friend, things like that. And so this again is on your honor. Read sitting on the floor. And I say, oh, okay, I was sitting on the floor. I finished reading. I complete the activity, and I get a little check mark on that bingo board. This is on your honor. It's just for fun. There's nothing extra attached to it. If you fill out the complete bingo board, you get 25 points for filling out the complete bingo board. But in terms of kind of the idea of cheating, well, did I really do that? Well, kind of my message is, who are you really cheating? You're not really cheating me. You're cheating yourself. So if you don't really want to do those bingo board activities, you don't have to. They are just for enjoyment purposes. And it's just kind of different motivational ways to get you to read, to kind of spice it up just a little bit throughout the summer. All right, the next one is the game board. I'm not really going to go, we already talked about this, so it's just a bigger screen of the game board. The badges link simply show you the badges you've earned. So on this page, it's kind of nice because you don't see all the badges. You just see those particular ones that you have earned for yourself. The reading list, this is something I want to talk a little bit more about. For the adults, I haven't finished all of our reading lists. We only have one. But at the elementary level, they will have the 2x2, the Mockingbirds, and then like a fantasy or fairy tale reading list. Elementary will have Bluebonnet books, middle school Lone Star list, high school will have Tayshaws, and then I will put the Lariat books here as well. I'm only including books that are available on our digital library, but for the adults, I'm going to include the whole list. And you can look in the public library as well to see if they have those books also. The way these work, when you click on the link, so let's say I'm interested in the Magicians, I have Discover More Like This, which we've already looked at. I can log this book. I have Goodreads reviews, so I can go look at that. I can add it to my wish list. So it's a great way to add books to your wish list, is to look at the reading list. And then view in library catalog. Now for these, when I click view in library catalog, it's going to take me directly to that page in the digital library. So I can immediately borrow that book if I want to read it on my device. So that's how the reading lists work in the program, is it'll take you directly in so that you can go ahead and borrow that book if it's available. All right. The bingo board, this is just, again, the bingo board in a bigger screen. And then fun stuff. So this is a little bit more like what we had last year. Each age group has their own image with different interactive buttons. And so if I click on a button, this one is Google Earth Explorations. And so then I can click Explore Now. It's going to open up Google Earth for me, and then I can go through and do some of the fun different virtual tours and things that are available through Google Earth. So each of these have different, this is the Google Arcade, so you can play Pac-Man or Tic-Tac-Toe or some other things on Google. Again, just for fun. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I don't know how many of you played that. I loved it as a kid. And so the classic Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, you can go back and play that game. There's also some links to museums, online art and culture tours. And then next to the flying person, every single program has a flying person. They all look different. And that actually will take you to last year's game. And so if you want your students, or if your students are interested in going in and exploring some of these different landscapes around the world that we had in the game last year, learning fun facts and other things, they can explore what we had going on last year. So that is also available. So that's just, again, just something fun, a little extra for kiddos to keep them interested and have something for to do during the summer. All right, and then we've looked at logging history and the reviews page already. I'm going to skip this district leaderboard because it is also linked up here in more. And then let's say that I want to get back to my main dashboard. I click on Home, and Home will take me right back to my main dashboard page. Now, once it loads, in the More button, you will see a link directly to our portal, to the digital library, to the district leaderboard, which we're going to look at in just a minute. The summer reading page and the public library links are linked here as well. So when I click on the district leaderboard, that's going to open up that page for me. And give it just a minute. Having to do some thinking. Ooh, lots of thinking. Okay, so you'll see at the top right, it's going to show the total minutes read. This is for the entire district. Now, if your students want to see themselves on the leaderboard, there's a very simple way of doing that. First, they find their campus. So they click Campus, and then choose the campus that they want to look at. So I'll just start with Black Elementary. All of these are just examples. So we will be changing these and clearing these minutes out before the program starts. So if you are a classroom teacher, we have put you in your own classroom so that you'll be able to see yourself along with all of your students. For those of us that do not have a classroom, the teacher is blank. So from Black Elementary, I can then go and click on teacher, and just so that we can see, I'll click on myself as a teacher. And then you can see the number of minutes read. And obviously all of your students will show on this leaderboard. This is my test account, so I'm the test accounts teacher, and that's how we can see it. But you'll see that this makes it a lot easier for students to find themselves. They simply use the filter button to find their campus, find their teacher, and that shows them the number of minutes. Now, let's say as a teacher or maybe a campus administrator, you want to see how many minutes you've read. When you notice that this total number of minutes read is a little bit different, that's because when I filter down for my campus, now all I'm seeing is the total number of minutes for my campus. If I filter to my teacher, it's going to show me, and here, so I'll do the same thing. It's going to show me the total number of minutes for that teacher. So that is also nice as you're kind of saying, oh, I wonder how my class is doing. Just filter down to yourself as a teacher and you'll be able to see. You can also filter by grade level. So I can say, well, it's Black Elementary and I just want to look at second grade. What does second grade look like? How many minutes is that? And there it is. So that filtering does make it a little bit easier to find yourself. And then again, we have links. I'm trying to link everybody everywhere so that it's super easy to get back to where you want to go. And so I can also look at the campus feeder leaderboard. And this shows me my campus logo, my campus, the feeder that I'm a part of, and the minutes. And so I can also filter to see how's my feeder doing with everybody else. And as district staff, you would just click district staff, and we have the MISD logo, and you'll see right now it's 360 minutes are showing for district staff. And so that's how you would be able to go down and see how your feeder pattern is doing in their minutes. And so that is the leaderboard. Okay, so really quick, before we move on to the dashboard, that is everything. Now, I saw that somebody asked a question about video for kids, and so I'm just going to do another reminder on our main summer reading page. If you scroll down, here is the video we've made for instructions for students on how to navigate through ReadSquared. I gave you some pretty in-depth information. They don't have quite as much in their video, but just enough for them to be able to know what the main features are. All right, so let's see. Let me get out of some of these. Questions. Are there any other questions right now before I move into the dashboard? Let's see. I'm just going to go up here really quick and see if I can find anything. Okay, so somebody's asked, are they requiring a summer reading assignment for pre-AP kids? Pre-AP, AP, and gifted students are all being asked to read 2 books of their choice during the summer. So there's not a specific book. They are encouraging all of the students to use ReadSquared to log their minutes and show the 2 books that they have chosen to read over the summer. Oh, and somebody answered that already. Sorry. We got the video. 2 books, answered that. Can students read any books? Yes, any books they want. They can log whatever and read whatever they want. We just want people reading. You can read audiobooks are okay. Include audiobooks in that. Magazines, any kind of online reading that you do. When you're reading the news online, that counts. Obviously, you can't enter a title, but you could just put news as your title on that. So any kind of reading, graphic novels, whatever they have available to read and can read, that's what we want, is everybody reading. All right, those are great questions. So let's go in and take a look at the dashboard. So again, for teachers, to access the dashboard, you will click on that in the portal. This should ask you, it's going to ask you to log in with your credentials. So you should be able to log in with just your username, and then you'll enter your network password, and it should log you in. If it doesn't, and you're having difficulty, now remember, this is only classroom teachers. Any other staff, you do not have access to the dashboard. Only classroom teachers and campus principals and librarians have access to the dashboard. And so all others, you can log your reading, but you won't have access to the dashboard. Classroom teachers and principals and librarians, if you have trouble with logging into the dashboard, use that link here that's report an issue, and just fill that in and let us know that you're, I just need your name and that you're having trouble logging in. And what I'll do is I'll reset your password, and I will send you an email with the instructions on what to do to be able to log in. And so that should then fix the issue if you have it. All right, so once you've logged into the dashboard, this is what it looks like. You'll see an overview of the programs. Now on my dashboard, I see everything because I'm the overall administrator for this. You will only see statistics and information for your students. So I see it for the whole district, but you will see it just for your kiddos. So I'm going to just show you 2 places that you might find useful. The first is participants. So you can click on participants, and then if you just hit filter, it's going to show you all of your students. Now, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to see every student in the district. So I'm just going to use the word test. Let's say you just want to look at a particular student. You can enter their first name and the last name and click filter. and it will pull up those students. So you can see I have 5 test accounts that are going, and I can actually click on the pencil and go in and look at my student information. And so I'm pretty sure that as teachers, you will be able to go in and see your student information, so that, let's say you have kiddos who don't have devices available, and in the fall, they bring you paper logs that they've recorded all their reading on paper, which is totally fine. They can absolutely do that. You can then go into that student's account and go ahead and log, let's say over the course of the summer, they read their 2,000 minutes. You can go ahead and log that 2,000 minutes, and just, you could put, summer reading, because you've got their logs. And so you just want to know that, yes, they've read the 2,000 minutes for the summer reading, and then click log reading. And so you can go and help your kiddos who don't have a device, who can't log their reading online. You can help them out with that, okay? You can also go in and see the student view, click account, and then click switch to user view. And when you do that, this one is the pre-K to 2nd grade program. You can go in and see that students, you'll see kind of the program that they are looking at from their point of view. So like on this one, you see the student has a bunch of check marks of the minutes that they've recorded on their way to the end of the game board, okay? Click control room to go back to your main dashboard. The other one that you will want to look at is reports. So you click reports, and then again, for you, you won't want to mess with a lot of these, but what I would recommend is that you choose participation details. The other one you may want to run is book reviews, so that you can moderate the book reviews that your students have submitted. So again, let's see, let me do district staff. You will only see your students, you won't see anybody else. And so here I can see that Emma McDonald did a review, and so I can go back into my participants, and let's see, let me go in and put my name in so I can show you how to moderate that review. So I'm going to find myself, there I am, click the pencil, and right here, so we have, here are the logs. I can look at their logs, and here are the reviews. So I click on reviews, and I need to moderate it. So I'm going to click on the pencil, and here I can say, all right, yes, it's not a fabulous review, but it's not cuss words and everything else, or somebody being snarky. So this is a fine review, and I can click moderate with public showing. So now it's been moderated, and I can also just click here that, well, it's already showing that, yes, it's been moderated. Or let's say the student's written a review and I don't think it's quite ready for the whole world to see it, but I want maybe my students to see it, or for the student themselves to see it. I can do moderate with private showing. So you have both of those different options that you can choose. Okay, and then you click save and back, and then you're done with reviewing the books. So participants, again, you can see their logs, you can see their reviews. You do not want to, don't change usernames or passwords or any of that, because that's all done through ClassLink. Everybody's automatically has their usernames and passwords all logged in there. So we just want you to look at the reviews and look at their logs so that you can work with your students that way. And then the other is the reports. And the 2 reports that I recommend are the book reviews and the participation details, which will show you your students. So let's say I do Mesquite High School, and then I choose the program, which would be the high school program, and run report. Again, you'll only be able to look at this for your students. and then I can see what has been happening. So I'll see my student, their grade level, how many minutes they've logged, how many reviews they've written, that sort of thing. So that might be nice in the fall to run a report of all your students. Now, your students, so sometime in August, when tech services move all the kids over from last year from 2019, 2020 to 2020, 21, that's automatically going to happen in ReadSquared. So your new class that you're going to have in August of 20, all those kids are going to show up on your dashboard magically on some date. I don't know what that date is. I don't know when all that transfer happens, but that will happen. So when you start the fall, you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm looking at my students from the previous year. You're looking at your current students. So that's kind of nice as well, that we don't have to worry about that transition. It's just going to automatically happen. Okay, and that's the training. So we've got about 5 minutes. Let's see if I have, how do we log into the dashboard? And Paula answered that. So the dashboard for classroom, it's going to show up on all staff members portal, but only classroom teachers will actually be able to log in, principals and librarians, that's it. Any other staff will not have an account. So you'll see something like user not found. So that's, click here for the ReadSquared dashboard. And then, okay, and then Sonia answered Karen answered the other question about reading any books. So any other questions that you have for me about the summer reading? We are super excited about the program and the games and all the fun stuff, and most importantly, all the reading that hopefully students will be encouraged, because every time they read, especially in the beginning, they're going to earn lots of badges. And so they'll be able to collect, I don't know, I think we have something like 80 or 90 different badges that they can collect. So this is kind of be for elementary, like Pokemon, you know, can you get them all? Can you get all the badges? And another thing is, I recommend as teachers, challenge your students. Feel like, I'm recording my reading. See if you can beat me. Can you beat me this summer in your reading? And just really get them hyped up and excited about reading over the summer. And I think we're going to find such great participation in our program. We had about 13% participate last year, which is great for our first year. And I really hope that we have at least that much and maybe more participation as we move into our second year of Mesquite Reads. So are there any other questions for me? All right, well, I'm going to stay on for the last 3 minutes before I'm going to end it right at 3 o'clock. Thank you so much for coming. I so appreciate it, and hope you guys have a great afternoon. And don't forget that there is that student training video already loaded on our summer reading page. So you do have something ready to go for students.